Yes. Nigeria qualified for the next round, knockout phases of the AFCON with a perfect record. Although not perfect performances in all the games, but a perfect. Yes, Nigeria qualifies for the next round, the knockout phases of the qualifiers of the AFCON with perfect record, 3 wins out of possible 3 wins out of possible three, getting 9 points. But some performances were not perfect. Today got 3 goals. The game versus Tunisia got 3 goals, but got pen back. Got pen back. Um, Considered 2 goals that they shouldn't have. So 3-2, one nil. Um, One against what do they call it, folks? Now, yeah, one against, yeah, I'm in a blank. That's just embarrassing right now. But one against Tanzania, one against Tunisia, one against Uganda. 3 goals to 1 in this game. So let's dive straight into it. A lot of changes were made as expected. One one person that started the game that a lot of Nigerians I'm sure that be looking and say, wow, why is he started? I hope he doesn't get a yellow card. That was Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen started. Today was his birthday, I think. So celebrating his 27th birthday. So congratulations to him for that one. Nice milestone achieved. But overall, the game, Nigeria were in control from start to finish, I think, up until the point where a needless goal was considered. And that's something we have to take out of this game of the Nigerian Super Eagles. The game versus Tunisia was well and truly done until that penalty. Although I'll blame the referee for that one because that shouldn't have been a penalty in that Tunisia game. And then he considered the second goal that was avoidable against Tanzania as well, winning 2-1. Considered the goal that was avoidable, so it needs to be taken out of the game because you may not be able to win every game 3 by 3 goals. You may not score 3 goals, 4 goals in every game. Some games you could score 2-0, some games you score 1-0, and your defensive concentration must be up there, must be on par. So overall, the team played well. I think the selection in terms of the striking pairing, I looked at it, I felt like it wasn't really ideally what I would want. Then again, it goes back to how the team overall was put together. So we had Onuachu and Victor Osimhen started. And Onuachu is more of a central striker, and he's not that quick in terms of being able to run the channels like an Alco Adams. So you're thinking, how would this work? And Victor Osimhen is a nine, he's a central striker despite his pace. So you're asking yourself, how would this work? But I think they worked as best as they could. Onuachu got his goal, fine, assist by Dele Bashiru. And before that, he could have got his goal even earlier, when Victor Osimhen ran down the byline, checked out, took his defender out with a nice check back, laid the ball for Onuachu. I think Onuachu was a bit tentative in that moment, but he took a shot and the goalkeeper made a good save. So fair play to the goalkeeper for that one. Then moments afterwards, he got his goal. And I want to say something. Ryan Alebesu, I think he's someone that is one for the future as well. I can see some things he wants to do. He's looking like one of these very attack-minded fullbacks, and I love it. He's spacey, willing to run down the line. Willing to do some step overs, get himself in good positions to put cross into the box. But I think the understanding between him and Chukwueze has to improve because Chukwueze had this in a lot of times in that game where Ryan would make the overlapping runs and Chukwueze would just take the ball and go inside time and time and time after again. Again, I get that's the whole point of having an inverted winger. So when the fullback makes the supporting runs on the outside, he's able to go on the inside. But once in a while, you should be combining with your fullback, and I don't think Chukwueze did that very well. But other than that, he dribbled a lot, caused chaos, in the half of the Ugandans, committing them to commit fouls, and then came up with lovely assists for Raphael Onyedika. And now we must speak about Raphael Onyedika. Now, I'm not going to take jibes at anyone. Alex Iwobi, I think, has had a decent tournament. Wilfred Ndidi has had a decent tournament as well. I think Wilfred Ndidi has really been very good. He was okay to decent in the first game. The second game, he was very, very good. Raphael Onyedika has come in and he's shown that this is what you do when you get that opportunity as a player. When a coach has you on the bench all the while and then he says, okay, come on. Then you show yourself, you tell the coach, you're making a mistake, not playing me. You're missing out on not playing me. And that's what I think Raphael Onyedika did. His 2 goals aside, which is very important, coming from deep, to score those goals. The second one, brilliant, how he bent the ball around Onuachu, the skill and technique to do that. A lot of people wouldn't quite understand, but amazing play from him. But overall, the way he looked to dictate play, the way he looked to let the ball pop about, was really, really impressive. So it was impressive with Raphael Onyedika. And then, of course, we're talking about Simon Moses. Simon Moses was very good as well. He ran the channels. He looked to take on his man at every opportunity that he got. That is what you get with Simon Moses. He wouldn't give you what he wouldn't give you what what's his face now. Ademola Lookman would give you in terms of coming out and trying to get the goal. Having that skill, take his man on the outside, coming inside, having the opportunity to score that goal, and he wouldn't give you that. But he is an out and out winger, so he was very good in the game. In the game too, Igor Gbu, I would say he was very good, but he was at fault for the goal that Uganda scored. Because why were you running? Where are you running to? Just like that meme will say, where are you going to? Where are you going to? Why are you running? I don't know if you've heard that meme before. Like, where are you? Why are you running? Like, why are you running? There was no need to run out. You had Raphael Onyedika, you had Bruno Onyemachi on the Ugandan defender, attacker. He could have just stayed back, watched everything. If there was any mistake, if there was any pass coming through, he would have been there to intercept it. But he decided to rush out for whatever reason. And well and truly, as you would expect, the Ugandan attacking player just nicely slotted the ball through, and his teammates scored to make it 3-1. So, but overall, I'd say very good performance from the team. Uzoho, I think, was okay, was decent today. Didn't do much wrong today, so happy that that he got his game time. I would have liked to bring that Kingsley to come on at some point, but that wasn't good. That didn't happen. And I felt sorry for Salim Fago. Despite the fact that I don't think that he is like top level, but he was to come on. First off, why are you bringing? I don't get why coaches bring players on with 2 minutes to go. I don't understand it. What are you trying to do with 2 minutes to go? And the game was already won. I would say in the 60 minutes into the first half, the game was done. So I don't know why you had to keep Salim Fago if you wanted to bring him on the bench for that long. I get he's not a superstar. I get he's not one of those names that you look at and say, oh, I'm super reliant on him. He's super reliable. But one, given that the match has been won, if you wanted to give him game time, maybe 10 minutes, 80 minutes on the clock, you bring him on. But rather, he didn't get to play at all. He got to play, 30 seconds or so, if even. But anyways, that's a different talk for another day. He would say he's made his debut. Ryan made his debut as well. Really impressed with him in the midfield. Raphael Onyedika was very good in that midfield. Tochukwu Nadi that came on, he showed some bright sparks, but I think that was about it. But he didn't once again, he didn't have as much time on his hands with respect to having enough time on his hands to show what he could do. But then again, that's how these games go. Important qualifiers, things like that. You don't get as many minutes to come off the bench and all that. But overall, happy with how the team played. Bruno Onyemachi, again, it showed why Zaidu Sanusi should be on the bench for him. Now, I'm not saying Bruno Onyemachi is perfect. I'm not saying he's a 10 over 10 fullback, but he's better than Zaidu Sanusi. He's better. So let's not even argue about that. I think he's better than Zaidu Sanusi. So he said, Aggregate says, Princess Onyedika has mad composure. Yeah, mad composure. He's composed on the ball. He showed you how you run in midfield. Holding the ball, little shoulder feints, sending the opposition players the wrong way, and then he has a bit more time on the ball to spread it out to his teammates, making those runs from deep for the goal. People don't get how smart that is. It seems simple because it's not like some super skillful thing. It seems simple, but it takes a lot of in-game IQ, in-game intelligence to read the game. That, okay, the way the ball is going to be crossed back, and I should make those runs to come in and smash that ball into the net. And he did that brilliantly. Now, Victor Osimhen didn't score today, and there was one opportunity I think he could have scored, although they would say he was offside. I don't think he was. He was onside. He was looking to chip the goalkeeper, I think, but I was thinking probably you take that first time. And then there was an opportunity that he could have scored. But I think the Ugandan substitute goalkeeper lost his bearing. He thought probably he was still in the 18-yard box, but he was way outside. and he ended up punching the ball and that outside the 18-yard box, and therefore that was a straight red card, rightfully so. So he had to be sent off. So ended up playing against 10 men, but the game was already done by then. So top play from everyone. Now, performances, who do you look at to say how they perform? How do you rate performances? Ryan, I'll give him, I wouldn't say it was super, but I'll give him a 7. Looking at Igogbu is a guy I rate highly, but I'll give him a 6.5. It wasn't really too great today. He made some mistakes. I think mistake for the goal. He shouldn't be making it. Calvin Bassett, he just played a little more than 45 minutes. I will give him full 8 because he's becoming that guy that is indispensable, that is undroppable at the minute. And that's when I say I look at him and I look at Benjamin Frederick, I say maybe that's the pairing you go with, right? That's the pairing you go with. Calvin Bassett that was looked at as a left back. Now he's molding himself into a top class centre back. And I think having him alongside Benjamin Frederick in the future, of course, Benjamin Frederick will not be available for the AFCON, injuries and recovery and all that stuff. So a fair play on that regard. But for the future after the AFCON, he should be playing. So and then look at Francis Uzoho, the goalkeeper. How would I rate him? I would say I'll give him a solid 8. He dealt with whatever came his way. He didn't really look shaky, but he wasn't under immense pressure anyway. So, so you can't really judge him too crazily. But based on what he's done okay. He didn't make any mistakes. The ball that was crossed in, he claimed it nicely. So that's good. At least maybe that gives Eric Chill something to think about. And maybe because he knows Stanley Nwabali is the number one, if he makes any mistake, he probably is not going to see any game time till the end of the tournament. So, and that's one of the things I talk about, how you construct a team. And I must talk about it today because I know, yes, Nigeria won today. Brilliant. I'm super excited for it. I'm happy that Nigerian Super Eagles won today. In fact, these are the kind of problems we should have. These are the kind of things that should be making us upset in a way. But I mean, why we should be upset when we win 3-2. We should be winning 6-0, not drawing 1-1, not losing. That should be out of our psyche. What Nigeria should be mad about is, we won 3-1, but there are certain things we have to point out. Now, overall, they showed good game management, which speaks to me or tells me that they've learned from their mistakes in the Tunisia game. Tunisia flew in and you were 3-0 up, and then for some weird reason, you sort of lost your bearing and allowed the Tunisians to get back in the game. And the Super Eagles kind of lost concentration in that game, lost control of that game. But in this game versus Uganda, they showed themselves, right? Showed themselves that they could actually control the game, popping the ball about, making the Ugandans walk with 10 minutes to go. That's how you do it. That's how you see off a game. It's very frustrating when you're leading the team 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 6-0, by how much, and the opponent just can't get the ball, and you're not making mistakes on the ball. That is super frustrating for your opponents, and the Super Eagles did that today towards the end of the game, so I'll give them credit for that. Now, one thing I want to talk to Eric Chill about, I want to mention is, come on now, use your bench. He used 3 subs today. I think he could have gone out and brought on 2 other players because we learned the harsh lesson in the last tournament, in the last AFCON, right? Where Victor Osimhen ran into the ground. You had people so exhausted in the final, no one could really play. So I would have loved at some point to see Benitez Akinci come on, but fair play, that's it. Team is winning. Maybe you don't want to disrupt the midfield too much. So let's see how that shakes out going on to the next game. Of course, Tunisia drew with Tanzania, so that meant that they finished second spot firmly with 4 points. Tanzania having 2, Uganda having 1. So they'll qualifying second. And the question, and it seems right now that probably Nigeria will be facing Angola. So the game versus Angola, that's a game Nigeria should win, but you don't want to take that game for granted. Now, there's something I have to talk about. I mentioned it earlier on, but I have to talk about it still. And that is how this team is constructed. Because when you take off Ademola Lookman, who is the other guy that can sort of do what he does, not so much. Simon Moses, he played well today, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about Simon Moses' performance at all. But who can do what he does? If you're having to take Ademola Lookman off. Same thing today, we saw it. Akwa Adams not in the team, who can do what he does? because that's why I was saying Victor Boniface should have been in the team. Maybe you say he's not good enough anymore to start. I don't think that's completely true, but he could have been on the bench. He could have been the one to be part of the second side or the team B, if you will. That would have played in that second striker position, and then you sub him off. Onuachu, he tried and he got a goal, but you could see that that second striker thing is not something he can do. It's not something that is in his bag. He tried, and that's one thing I will give him credit for. Because one thing is your coach plays you out of position, and you still put in the effort, put in the legwork. Try your hardest to make sure you play for the team. And he did that because you have some players that will just suck all through, refuse to make the right run because they are not being played in the rightful position or in the right role. And the switch balls were super impressive today. That for Paul Onuachu. I was really impressed with the switch balls today. I've not really seen a Nigerian striker do that so much. Just hold the ball middle of the park, switch it to your winger, make your runs. I've not really seen a lot of Nigerian strikers do that. Victor Osimhen, he helps with build-up play a lot. He drops deep, holds the ball, drops it off for his teammate, make his supporting runs that way, and that's super impressive. That's very good for him as well. But Onuachu showed me a different side of his game in his Nigeria Super Eagles game. Chukwueze, like I said, he was good, created the chances, created that assist for, what's it called now, for Raphael Onyedika, top marks to him. Bruno Yemachi, I think, was okay today. I think Zaire Sanusi should be on the bench for the next game. Bruno Yemachi should start. And for the next game as well, I think Calvin Bassey immediately comes in place of Chidozie Awaziem. And then, of course, you have the issue of between Igor Ogbu and Semi Ajayi. Who are you going to go with? Let me know in the comment section, let me know in the chat whether you're going to go with Igor Ogbu or you go with Semi Ajayi. Semi Ajayi has been fairly okay. He hasn't been fantastic, unlike Calvin Bassey, who's just been a man mountain, who's just, you can't criticize him. Of course, you can say you could have done this, you could have done that better, but he is the guy. So you can't criticize him all too much. He is the guy for that centre back position. Now, who pairs up with him going into the other games? That is the question that we have to all answer, that Eric Chill has to answer going forward into the game versus Angola, right? So we have to look at that. And then Fisa Udele Bashiru, I think he was okay as well. He played slightly out of position. I think in some points of the game, he had to bring himself into midfield. A fair play, you had to do that. But I don't see him as this kind of widest player. But he did a good job as well. I think everyone in the team did a good job today. The only issue I'm having is an NFF issue, which is how do you build a team to make sure that after your first 11, your second 11 is still top as well. Can do what your first 11 can do to a large extent. So let me know some opinions, on that one. And then of course, Victor Osimhen. Today I'll give him a 7 because he didn't score today, and although he put himself about, he showed energy, he showed grit, and all that. So I will be taking a quick 2 minutes break, and I will be back with the review.
Niger na ginger, you already know. From Lagos to Rabat, We coming for the goal. Super Eagles. Oh yeah. Fly. Listen. The atmosphere sets, the grass is green. Morocco weather, he go see something. Our boys, them ready, them full of life. We no come here for play, we no come for strife. Look, man, look, Osimhen. The goal, them plenty, them go score again. From the defense line to the middle of the park. We they light the fire, we know they fear God. Niger, Nigeria, we too set. AFCON trophy, we go collect. From Casablanca down to Marrakesh. Everything we come, we go put them for check. Oh, Super Eagles going on. Oh, we go carry the cocoa. The green, white, greeny, they fly for sky. We know they look back, we they aim for high. No be by power, no be by might. But the way we the ball, it go be pure delight. The Pharaohs and the Lions, them fit try them best. But Nigeria boys, we pass the test. But you don't talk, and the plan done set. Now God we define, we no get regret. So high, Eagles, so high, so high. Touch the sky, Eagles, touch the sky, touch the sky. Niger, no they carry last. We moving fast. Football now everything. Niger, Nigeria, we too set. AFCON trophy, we go collect. From Casablanca down to Marrakesh. Everything we come, we go put them for check. Oh, Super Eagles going on. Oh, we go carry the cocoa. Sound up. Celebrate there. A whistle. Morocco, we here. 3-star jersey, we making it for. Celebrate town. We are dance the galala, dance the suku. Super Eagles for life. Na, yeah. Hey. Niger, na ginger, you already know. From Lagos to Rabat, we coming for the goal. Super Eagles. Oh yeah, fly. Listen, the atmosphere sets, the grass is green. Morocco weather, he go see something.
Yeah, we're back. Yes, Nigeria qualified for the game, for the next round, for the knockout phases of the AFCON 2025. You could call it Morocco 2025. So how would you rate the performances of the players? How would you rate every chill selection? And Prince says, I hate the very late subs. Like, you should give other players the opportunity to play. Yeah, for me, I don't see the point of bringing on a player with 1 minute to go. Like, what is the player trying to do? Like, the only time I'll kind of get it is if maybe you have a player that is a dual national and you want to make sure he's cap tied, maybe. But even at that, that's not really good for the morale of a player. Bringing a player 2 minutes to go, 1 minute to go. Rather, rest the player, bring him on the next game, let him come off the bench. So, but overall, happy with how the team qualified. But one thing I just hope, doesn't happen is, the last time Nigeria played very well in the group stage under Eguavon, beat Egypt, beat other teams in the group and qualified. Near perfect record. They got absolutely dumped out, in the game versus Tunisia. I'm hoping history doesn't repeat itself. But I like the way Eric Chell is sort of infusing this big team mentality into the Nigerian Super League, which is, yes, we are the better side. We are going to dominate the ball. We're going to dominate possession. We're going to pass the ball about. We're going to pop the ball around. So I like that bit of what he's trying to instill into these players. I like that so much because football, yes, it's an athletic endeavor. You play it on the pitch, obviously, but it's also here as well. It's also between the ears, how you feel, how confident you feel on the ball. That's why you see some teams when they play in the championship or they play in second division. You see them dominating possession. You see them playing with so much swagger. And then they come to the Premier League or the first division of any league they're in. They look lost. They look like ghosts. So I like what Eric Chell is doing for the mentality of the players. I like the fact Raphael Onyedika got to play today. I like the nice touch of giving Victor Osimhen the armband. So I'm happy for him. And then, of course, Paul Onuachu getting his goal today. Although he had to really labor. He had to really, work hard today, step outside his comfort zone a bit. But happy with him, happy for him. Happy that he put in the work there. So United fan says, where are those saying Onyedika isn't good enough? I told them about my baller. Forget the goal. He bust the tempo. Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely good enough. The question I always ask people that say they don't rate Raphael Onyedika, I say, come on. He played in Club Brugge, in the Belgian league, a decent league, right? Slightly below the French league, maybe. He plays there, he plays very well, he dominates games. Then he plays in Champions League as well, where he wins man of the matches in one man's matches in a couple of games. So how can he be playing at such a level and not be good enough at all, and just have to ride the bench all through the playoffs? So how is that even possible? And Ogenyo Nazi, probably I know he was saying this in reference to other people, not Raphael Onyedika particularly, but a lot of Nigerian football fans jumped on it because they were saying it doesn't matter how well you play for your club, playing for the Super Eagles is a different thing altogether, and things like that. So I didn't quite get it. So you have lack of Raphael Onyedika, and the thing with Raphael Onyedika in the past games has been you have indeed you play. 10 minutes to go, 12 minutes to go, he doesn't come on. But in this game, he's come on and he's shown that, yes, I deserve to be playing. I deserve to start. And that's what you want, from every player. And that's what the likes of Benjamin Frederick did when he got his debut in the Unity Cup. You may not be getting game time, but when a coach, for whatever reason, wants to rest his A team, his A squad, wants to give you 5 minutes here and there, you take advantage of the time you're given. You take advantage of that time. You show you put questions in the mind of the coach, right? And that's what Raphael Onyedika has done. Because the way he played today, the way he controlled the pace of play, pumped the ball about, and the goals he added, the 2 goals he scored, that would put the question in Eric Chell's mind. Do I really, am I absolutely sure that Iwobi is the guy definitely I should always go with? Indeed, should I always go with him? I'm not saying he's going to say, no, the next game, maybe against Angola, he's going to bench any of those players. But at least you put the question in the mind of the coach. And another player I was happy with again, like I said, is Ryan. Ryan, he looked decent today with better communication with his winger. With Chukwueze today, I think he will do a lot better. Chukwueze wanted to go inside all the time, and fair play, he got his assist that way. But I think Ryan shows promise there. He's shown promise there. So that means the right back battle right now, with him and Said Samuel, I think there should be another person that should be looked at for sure. Because Olaina, I don't think he will play for Super Eagles again. I don't think so. Because the World Cup is gone. The next Nations Cup is 2027. He'll be 29, 30 by then. He'll be 30 by then. So would he still be available to play right back, high intensity? Let's see if that happens. And then, of course, Francis Zoho, maybe, I don't know, this might be his last tournament for Nigeria, who knows? But the goalkeeper has to be looked at. Now, one update I have to bring, I'll see if I can get the image up, is Wrexham goalkeeper, Arthur Okonkwo, has been given clearance by FIFA to play for Nigeria. So his nationality switch has been confirmed. He'll be playing for Nigeria. He's now eligible to play for. He's not. Of course, he has always been eligible, but now he can play for Nigeria. Obviously, not in this AFCON, but for other games to come, other fixtures to come, for other World Cup qualifiers and things like that to come. So let me know his opinions on the fact that Arthur Okonkwo has been given that clearance to play for Nigerian Super Eagles. Let me know his opinions on that one. So Arthur Okonkwo, let's see if I can bring that up. It's just news I just. So I'll share my screen now so we can all see, what I'm talking about. Arthur Okonkwo now can play for Nigeria. So I'll share my screen in a minute. Bring it up here. United fan, I've seen your comments. I'll bring it up and we'll talk about it in a moment. But for now, let's share this. So Arthur Okonkwo, all the saves he's been putting up for Wrexham and the championship now. And he's made his nationality switch a long time ago. He's made that switch a while ago. So we can see it right here. So I'll see if I can, say League Reporter FIFA has officially approved the nationality switch for goalkeeper Arthur Okonkwo. The 24-year-old is now eligible to represent Nigeria. Okonkwo has made 65 saves, kept 5 clean sheets in 21 matches for Wrexham in the English Championship this season. So happy that that's done. Happy that he's now cleared and can now play for Nigeria. Good to see. The United fan says again. Okay, that's the same thing I've read. Yeah, he bought the tempo. Yeah, he did. So how you all feeling about Arthur Okonkwo now eligible to play for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Now ready to play for the Super Eagles. For me, I think that's good news. So you have him, you have Maduka Okoye, and you have Stanley Waba. So are we sure we really have him? I'm not sure anymore, because some reports were saying he didn't play because he didn't want to be part of the squad going to the AFCON because he wasn't guaranteed to start. That's just odd to me. If he indeed has that mentality, if that's what was the reason indeed, because right now you always have different sort of narratives and stories flying around. Sometimes you're not sure which is correct, which is wrong. But if indeed he's of that mindset, then he shouldn't play for Nigeria anymore, because Nwabali played all through the qualifiers, played all through the World Cup playoff, and was very good. And let's get it right, Nigeria didn't go to the World Cup not because of Stanley Nwabali. So you're not going to come in and say, rather than saying, now fight for my place, you want to be guaranteed the starting place. That's just silly talk. If he was playing for Germany, I'm sure he wouldn't demand to start ahead of Neuer. He would want to come in there and compete. So I told them about my baller. Yeah, he's an absolute baller. Absolute baller. There's no questions about that one. He is top notch. I like the way he played today. So let me go with my player ratings. Official player ratings. Let's dive straight into it. So first off, I'll go Bruno Yemachi. I'll give him a 7.5. Calvin Bassey, I'll give him an 8. Igor Gbu, 6.5. I'll give 8 to Francis Zoho. And at right back, Ryan, I'll give him a 7. Chukwueze, I'll give him a 7 as well. Onyedika, I'll give him a 9.5. So because he scored and he dominated, he helped control play. That's what we want to see in your defense, in your central midfielder. And then Osimhen, I'll give him a 7 or a 6.5 because 7, I'll say 7. Onuachu 7.5, and who else is left on the plate? Dele Bashiru. I'll give him a 6.5 as well. So that's my thoughts and opinions on the game. Let me know what you think. At this point, I've come to the end of the video, and I'll see you on another video.